So aluminum foil or aluminium foil, put it into this contraption that looks like it belongs in the medieval times, and then we just turn the handle and oh my, oh my word, quick, cue the titles. Hello there, my name is Aaron and I like to make things out of old toys and model kits. I have a school bus I found while searching in my local thrift store and thought it's in need of a makeover. So first things first, I need to dismantle this puppy. Well, it's not actually a puppy, it's a toy, but it's okay. Once I had it all apart, it was now time to work out what I needed to discard and what to use. Putting the bus back together was easier than taking it apart, so that's the shell. I'll leave the wheels off until later so I'm not chasing it around the workbench. At this point I'm deciding if I want to make a space bus or go darker with a post-apocalyptic bus. I know, left hand side hit the screen for a space bus, right hand side hit the screen for a post-apocalyptic bus. Excellent, post-apocalyptic bus it is then. The bus is going to need a new roof, so some thin styrene sheet is called into action. I'm not sure if you can see, but I gently scored one side of the sheet to look like panels. Then I'll use a pokey tool to press into the sheet to make rivets. There, right there, it looks like one of those pimples that you pop on your face. I pokey away at the styrene sheet until all the panels are riveted, and then just glue it down onto the roof. I use some offcuts just to cover the front and the back of the bus where the sign was. This is netting you get for your screen doors to stop flies or monsters getting into your house. I'm using mine as mesh for the bus windows. Using a sharp hobby knife, I just trace around the windows to cut the mesh out, and then I just simply glue them down into place before I lose each individual piece. Now, you saw me use this toy at the start of the video. I say it's mine, it's actually the other half's. I think it's for pasta making or something, who knows. While she's out, I'm making panels, and look at those puppies. This is a cool bit of kit actually. So I've worked out, not only does it do the thin styrene, it also does the aluminum tape, like you saw at the start of the video. So yeah, I'm going to keep using it while she's away or out of the building. So those sheets I made, I cut down, and I'm just going to use it as paneling for the sides of the bus, because obviously this is a post-apocalyptic bus, and people are trying to break into your vehicle, so you need to keep it nice and secure. I'm just going to make the door frame with some very thin styrene sheet, and then using the pokey tool I'm just going to poke some holes into it just to make it look like it's been shot at, because hey, it's a lawless land now. More thin styrene rod is added to the windows as bars. I do that for the entire bus until it ends up looking like this. Now I think we need a trapdoor on the roof in case we can't get out the side or back doors. I need some racking on the roof for storage, so cut down a couple of sprues and stick them down. A little footplate made out of styrene at the bottom of the door. I'll also add a ladder that I made out of some thin styrene rods, but I changed that later because I'd made it too small. A random piece of a tank will be greebled up and added to the roof. I want to beef up the wheel arches, so using more styrene I bend it into shape. I'll then use some baking soda to the glue to make it look like it was a patch-up job. Out comes the Greeblies. This was a kit of spare parts for a workshop. I'm super excited to finally get to use some of this stuff. Now it's just deciding what I want to bloody use. And while I decide, it's code word time. If you're leaving a comment, put the code word at the start, middle or end so I know you got here before skipping. And the code word is toe cutter. I need to cover the holes up at the front of the bus, so I'll cut down this chrome sheet. Now I'm no mechanic, but I'm guessing that's where the radiator should be, so I'll poke some holes in the sheet so air can get to the radiator. And yes, I know this is a toy, but if I was in a post-apocalyptic world, this is the kind of bus that I would be making. Remember I said I'd made the ladder too small? Well, I found a better one in amongst my Greeblies, so off that comes. And hello comes the new ladder. Oops, oh, just stick on, will you? Oh, I need to make a little plate at the top for it to stick. Right, 1 second. I made a little plate using styrene, and now I can stick the new ladder onto the bus. There, now that looks better. Technically, I don't need an aircon unit where I live because we probably see the sun twice a year, but I'm adding one because it looks cool. I've also this really cool ice box that I thought I could stick to the side, you know, for roadkill or grabbing a cold popsicle. I'll just use some thin styrene just to greeble it up a little bit and then stick it to the side. A roof rack would come in handy. Good job I have one for my bus. I need to make sure whatever's on the roof rack is protected, so this aerofoil wing will go on the front. I added more bits to the bus, like a solar panel that will be connected to the aircon, and a huge fuel tank at the side in case I need to siphon fuel from cars in the road, some pipe for effect, and panels to cover holes. So all that's left to do now is put the wheels on. For the wheels, I have 3 matching hubcaps. I thought it would give it the look of, you know, the bus being patched up if and when, and having a missing hubcap gave it that sort of authenticity. Yeah, you know what I mean. So I just glued each hubcap into place and then glued the wheels onto the bus. Hang on, something's not right here. Why, the wheels came from this bus. Had I not been a doofus and thrown the screws away, I could have screwed these wheels back in. Hang on now. Yep. Anyway, let's cut to the spinny bit. Before we get to the spinny bit, I thought, why don't I put a sort of battering ram at the front of the bus, just in case in this post-apocalyptic world there's a zombie outbreak and we need to mow down zombies. So this is what I did. Now it's time for the spinny bit, and I'm going to prime this grey. So I'm going to take it outside, prime it, and then bring it straight back. But I'll just give you a shot of what everything is and where. Look, I even used the front, I covered the front wheels just in case people were trying to hit them with spikes or shotguns or anything. There's a back door that you can, and there's a light. There's going to be a light as well. Cuddly Teddy in there somewhere. But that is my post-apocalyptic school bus. And by new toy, I mean I have a new airbrush. Sadly, Anger, the airbrush, died on me recently. The battery decided to just go, and it was a cheaper option to buy a slightly better airbrush. So this is the first time I'm using it, and I've got to say that little bit more PSI, as they say, is it's brilliant. Once the base coat was down, then I just went around the model just to start painting other little bits and pieces. I decided to paint the panels blue and red just so it's like it's sort of stuff that you've picked up on the side of the road and stuck it to the side of the bus. And another shot of me feeling adventurous with the airbrush and just going around the other bits with the red colour. And I painted the zombie scooper at the front red because then it would mask all the blood, I guess. Onto the weathering, which was the homemade black wash that I'm just going to carefully throw on and then dab away, because then I'm going to go back on with some lighter wash just to try and bring out some of the colour. I couldn't think of anything catchy to put on the front of the zombie scooper, so I just put hello goodbye, which was basically says it all really. Then I went over that with a black wash just to try and tone down the writing and make it sort of less newish and make it look old and sort of disappearing a little bit. Well, I know what I mean. Bad Bob Ross impression. What I'm doing here is I'm just bringing it down slowly, gently bringing it down and just getting the edges with the black wash. And while I do that, I'll do some shout outs right now. Your name's on the screen because you left a funny, witty comment or just a tip or something that you want to see in a future build. So thank you very much for the comments. Keep them coming. I appreciate everybody that drops a message. And yeah, don't forget, if you're new here, like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks very much. Then I do my first weathering pass with powders to make it look like the bus is carrying a lot of supplies. I add some chunks of XPS foam and stick them down onto the roof of the bus. Then I'm going to cut down some of this cheesecloth because hopefully the texture will come out once it's painted. I'm going to soak it in some mix of water and Mod Podge and then just place it over the XPS chunks. Once I put that onto the XPS foam, I'll just probably go back over the bus with some more colours and just tone them down just to make it look dirty. So I'll leave you with a few shots of me doing all that, and then it'll be on to the glamour shots. So all that's left for me to say is thanks very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, all that YouTuber stuff, and until next time, keep scratching that build, everybody. Thanks for watching.